We really recommend that you have a holistic perspective on all your finances, so you have a net worth statement that's going to look at how you're doing year over year. It's not something you look at every day, but it's something you want to look at least once or twice a year to make sure that you're making progress for a lifetime, not just this year, not just this month, but for a lifetime.
Welcome to Getting Money Right, a show dedicated to helping you achieve financial freedom through education and inspiration so that you can be free to pursue your true life's purpose. We're your hosts, David Thompson and Leo Sabo, and in today's episode, we want to give you a quick reminder of the 4 principles of purposeful living. So we're going to teach you again to spend on purpose, to save before you spend, to increase your financial margin, and to invest wisely. This episode is just to quickly highlight each of these 4 principles and remind you of where you can get more information from our previous podcast episodes. So Leo, let's go over a quick overview of each one of these 4.
Yeah, that's great. And the reason we're doing this, guys, is because we do refer to these from time to time as we're covering different topics. And these are foundational things. These are things that if you can kind of commit them to memory, it'll really help you to stick to this plan where you are covering all your bases and you're able to really accomplish everything you want to do financially. So let's start with number 1, spend on purpose. We always say this: if you're going to spend on purpose, you will have complete control of everything that you're going to do. So number 1 thing about spending on purpose is that you live on a written plan. Now that could be an app, that could be a spreadsheet, that could be pen and paper, doesn't matter, but you have to spend all of your money on paper before the month begins. That's what living on a written plan is all about. The second thing is that you track your expenses. There's no good to having a plan unless you're actually activating it. And tracking your expenses allows you to compare your plan to your actual so that you could stick to it. And number 3, we really recommend that you have a holistic perspective on all your finances, so you have a net worth statement that's going to look at how you're doing year over year. It's not something you look at every day, but it's something you want to look at least once or twice a year to make sure that you're making progress for a lifetime, not just this year, not just this month, but for a lifetime.
That's right. You're going to find these tools and more on leosabo.com. And when you're spending on purpose, you'll always know where you are financially, and that's going to change the way that you see the whole world. That's going to change the way that you relate to people, the way that you relate to your job, and the way that you relate to spending decisions. Now, we just referenced number 2 is tracking expenses. If you want to dig more into any one of these things, check out episode 85 and 86, where we talk about your financial superpower and how to track and how to build this. And check out episode 125, where we talk about which financial app is the best to actually help you build a budget. If you're going to spend on purpose, if you're going to have a zero-based budget, check out 125, because episode 125 talks about YNAB, it talks about Every Dollar, it talks about Mint, it talks about the budget tool that we created, Leo, or that we use. And so that's number 1, spend on purpose.
Yep.
Number 2 is to save before you spend. So we always recommend that you save before you spend so that you'll experience stability today and in the future.
That's right.
So the first thing we talk about from a stability standpoint is your stability fund. It's a 1 month of living expenses fund. And we say 1 month is bare minimum because if you were to lose your job, if you were to have an unexpected expense, you need to have 1 month of living expenses in place, ready to take care of anything that comes up. Then you continue to save, and you can save in any increment, $50 increments, $100 increments. If you're just starting your career, you used to make $5.25 an hour, I'd save, a third of that paycheck. And that may only be, $50. 1 week, it may only be $5. That's okay. Start saving in increments because you're going to save before you spend. You're going to build into a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And then once you've gotten there, you're going to think strategically through levels of saving.
Right.
So you're going to have short term, that's your stability. Then you're going to have midterm savings. This is to replace things in your home, a washer, a dryer, your car. Ashley and I have multiple midterm savings accounts.
That's right.
So that we can make sure that we're taking care of, it's almost like a sinking fund where that over time, that any machinery is not going to last forever.
That's right.
So you say, hey, this machinery is going to last for 5 years. I'm going to start saving today so that 5 years from now, it's ready to be replaced. I have cash in the bank. So short term, midterm, and then long term. And that's where we're looking at retirement. We're looking at income replacement. We're looking at you being financially free so that you can pursue your true life's purpose. And that's going to take us into the next one. So remember, you want to have stability today and in the future. And that is why you save before you spend. If you want to learn more about this, check out episode 49, where we talk about lifestyle choices that will make you wealthy, and episode 136, things that you can do to save more.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So let's go to number 3. Increase your financial margin. This is the third principle of purposeful living, is that you increase your margin. We always recommend that you increase your margin to pursue your true life's purpose. See, when you don't need to spend every dime just to survive another month, it gives you room to breathe. Now you can start thinking about, what is it that I really want to do? Maybe you want to expand, and maybe you want to be an entrepreneur, start a business. Maybe you want to pursue a different career. Having margin gives you options that you didn't have before. So this is an important step in living on purpose. So the way you do that is, 1, you spend less, right? To create margin, you spend less. And that might be eliminating your credit card debt, right? Start off with just paying off all consumer debt, but then committing to a lifelong consumer debt-free lifestyle. That means you can use credit cards, but you can't carry balances over. And you're not taking loans out for furniture and 90-day loans and those kind of things. You're maximizing your income, and you're only spending either with cash or things that you can pay off that month. So spend less is the way you build margin, but you also build margin by making more.
Yes.
Right? So that could be, you get additional education, you increase your skill, you become more marketable. Maybe you find a better job. Maybe you ask for that raise because you're finally worth more and you're not afraid to ask for it. So definitely want to focus on your career and increase that income through that. Another way to do that, of course, is to start a side business. Maybe you have a passion that's growing inside of you. We talked about this just a couple episodes ago, that if you want to increase your desire to pursue the thing that just keeps you up at night, maybe you work full-time on your job and you work part-time on your passion. And over time, that passive income, that extra passion and that work that you're doing could become your full-time focus. Both David and I have been able to do that. We're working on our passion because we focus not just being an employee, but going beyond that and really doing something that we love to do. So we always are going to recommend to you that you increase your financial margin. It's going to give you options, but more than anything, it's going to allow you to pursue your true life's purpose. You'll be able to do the things that you really were created to do. If you want to know more about this increase in margin, you can listen to our episodes 98 and 99, where we talk about identifying the root causes of financial problems, dealing with the root causes of financial problems, and also episodes 101 and 102. We talked to Chris Massimo about the RAM system, how to change it and have lifelong success. These will help you to understand how to build margin, how to increase your income, and how to reduce your spending, because it allows you to really fully engage in knowing how to pursue those things.
That's right. And episode 142 that we just did, Leo, that's perfect. We were talking about purpose. We were talking about career change. We were talking about education. How do you step into a place where you're earning more to increase that margin?
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, the fourth principle for purposeful living is to invest wisely. So we say invest wisely so that you can increase your impact in this world. So the strategy, you want to basically sit down and have a plan. First, you need to get educated, and then you make a plan for how you're going to invest. And so the strategy comes down to simply having potential tax-favored accounts,
Right.
Looking into real estate, and looking to invest in a business. So these are different strategies. You don't have to do all three, but Leo and I, we have side businesses where we learn and we grow. It sharpens our skills. We earn a little bit of side income. Leo has real estate. I've focused on investing through my tax-favored retirement accounts, and Leo has done the same there too. There are multiple strategies. You want to go back and listen to our whole series on episode 11 to 14, where we talk about investing, and we go into stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs, those are tax-favored accounts, Roth IRAs, again, tax-favored accounts, 401ks at your work, 403bs if you're a nonprofit. We talk about index funds and brokerages. If these words sound a little intimidating and overwhelming, what we did in those episodes is we broke them down into very simple terms.
That's right.
And we tried to make it as easy as possible because investing shouldn't be intimidating or scary. With a little bit of education, I'd say about 2 hours from episode 11 to episode 14. In about 2 hours of listening, you will feel so confident to invest wisely and begin to walk out a strategy that fits your personal life. And there is no one strategy that fits everyone's life.
That's right.
I have a friend who basically has a farm, and he's chosen to invest in cattle and invest in deer and invest in sheep and invest in chickens. And he spent his honeybees. He spent his life learning, researching, figuring out how to invest in that. Now that's a business. That's a side business. That's something that he does on the side for fun. And it fulfills him. It takes him out of he works full time in a job that makes you rack your brain constantly.
Yeah.
And so he's able to go out on the land and work the land. He has a huge garden. He's got apple trees. So that's a side business. He's chosen to put some of his resources into that to build up. And so I've chosen to spend my extra time and energy and money in tax favored accounts. It's important to diversify across multiple options, but it's also okay for you to realize you don't have to do what David did. You don't have to do what this guy did. You don't have to do exactly what Leo did, but you do need a strategy.
To do it all.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really important because you will gravitate to one thing that you really know really well or that you're just more interested in. And that's totally okay. Just know that there are many ways to do this. There's not one size fits all.
That's right.
And what we go through in episodes 11 through 14 is to tell you about those different ways to do it. And also episodes 92 to 97, this is an investing series to look at a lot of different things like risk tolerance, how the news media and the advice we get on there can really mess you up if you're listening to that every day. And some just basic principles of investing in yourself. There's so much there. And this all fits under that investing wisely, because if you're going to do that for life, you need to know the practical things about it, but you also need to know how do you process through that yourself, because you're an emotional human being. You have a soul, you have a will, you have desires. And just the information alone doesn't help. You have to know yourself. And through that, we've tried to talk about those things that are going to affect your investing. So definitely go and listen to those series because I think that will really, really benefit you to be a better investor.
That's right. Well, this was a quick recap on the 4 principles of purposeful living. 1, always spend on purpose. 2, save before you spend. 3, increase your financial margin. And 4, invest wisely.
Thank you, David. So in closing, we just want to thank you for first, just being part of this audience, for listening to this episode. And if you enjoyed it, please share it with someone. Tell somebody about this podcast, because if you let them know, they'll benefit just like you've benefited. So we hope you have benefited and that you'll share the love and let them know that this exists. We do this because we love to do this. We want to make sure that you're equipped, that you have the information you need to succeed and to really fulfill your purpose in life. That's the reason we do this. To gain access to this podcast and the show notes, financial tools, other things, you can go to leosabo.com where you'll find resources to help you to walk this out. David, where can people go to find out more about what you're up to outside of getting money right?
Yeah, come over and check out stewardshippastors.com and go to the book, Jesus on Money. I know that you'll love it, and I can't wait to spend more time with you there.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for joining us for this episode. We hope you'll join us again next time so that together
we can keep getting money right. First, you need to get educated, and then you make a plan for how you're going to invest. And so the strategy comes down to simply having potential tax-favored accounts,
right?
Looking into real estate, and looking to invest in a business.